Doug's birth. I'd like to tell it in Linnea's voice. People always say that birth is the natural order of life, but I remember Doug's birth as a miracle. I have known Doug longer than anyone else, having been present at his birth. I know what extraordinary circumstances it took to bring about this birth. First of all, you would have to have known Doug's mother, Ruthie, my sister, who was 5 years younger than me, and to have known the long struggle and sheer determination and courage that she had all her life. Doug's mother was born prematurely. Whether something happened during her birth, we did not know, but she was severely paralyzed on her entire right side and was limited to the use of only her left arm, her left leg, and left hand. She was only able to walk, albeit shakily, thanks to the many surgeries and wonderful care at the Shriners Hospital in Springfield. Doug's mother was able to accomplish many great things over the course of the years, due in large part to her courage and her bright, always happy disposition. When she married Doug's dad, she desperately wanted a child. Everyone was against it. Our mother, other family members, her husband, and her doctor. It would not work, and it would risk the life of her and her baby. Even if it did work, how could she possibly care for an infant and a fast-moving toddler? I brought her to my obstetrician, who examined her and was amazed at her courage, in spite of all the obstacles. Dr. Skriko told her he thought she could carry a baby to term with the assistance of a cesarean section. I was in the hospital having my fourth child, Judy, when Doug, the miracle baby, arrived. My sister and I shared a room together, and Judy and Doug shared their crib. Back then, they didn't banish you from the hospital the day after delivery. I cannot begin to tell you the many ingenious ways that Ruthie was able to care for Doug. She was unable to pick him up and carry him, so she pushed him around on a small crib with 4 wheels from which she could bathe, feed, and prop him up for cuddling. Doug was such an active little boy. From an early age, whenever we were at the lake house with other family members, he would organize and recruit all his cousins for his first productions and puppet shows. We always knew he would be an actor, and what an actor and teacher he became, beloved by so many, especially me, his elderly aunt, now 90 years old, and I remember all of it, his miracle birth and his incredible life. Lovingly, Aunt Linnea Gregg. As you can tell from my mother's story, Doug and I were more like brother and sister, only closer. Doug was more than my cousin. He was my first friend. We shared a crib together and in the first few days of our lives, and we remained close ever since. Many of you know Doug as a teacher, an actor, a director, a friend. I was privileged to see another side of him. I was able to see how deeply dedicated Doug was to his family. In fact, I'd like to close by telling you a little bit about Doug's last correspondence with my mother and me, written about a month ago. It was a long and rambling email, a few pages in length, and he was reminiscing, and the hour was very late. He was reflecting on the loss of his beloved mother, who was his lifelong inspiration, and upon the more recent death of his dad in December. He also talked about current events, like the ice storm we had this winter, and his school year, and he reflected on events from our childhood and all the summers on the lake. He threw in his humorous stories, as Doug always does. And he also said that he has come to realize that he is finally an orphan, a state that truly hit home when he recently reached for the phone to call his dad to tell him about an event that was reported in the Telegram and Gazette recently. Doug also talked about all the exciting plans he had for this upcoming spring and summer. His new kitchen, how much he loves his home, his pool, his yard. He proudly told us about the upcoming summer production of Grease, to take place on the very stage where he started his career at the renovated Hanover Theater. He promised my mom and me that it would be sure to bring the house down. He filled us in on his new puppy Lilith. But mostly, he talked about his happy and very full life with Bruce. In his last words to us, Doug apologized for rambling, told us that he appreciated the audience while he still had it. He told us of his love for us. And as I mentioned, my mom's health is very frail. And Doug closed by telling us that he hopes our days will be filled with love and acceptance. Thank you, Doug, for always reminding me of the preciousness of life. You lived a full life with humor, with love, with integrity. And I am so proud to call you my cousin, my friend. I love you, Doug. And we will carry on with love and acceptance. Thank you.